No. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. And thing sucks.
It is Winners Wednesday, fellas. How's it going? I love this time of the week where we celebrate a successful day in the division. We all won, and the Packers took that L. Dave, how are you feeling right now, bro?
I feel great, brother. 4-0 with a plus 57 point differential, matching what we had in 1998. Was the last time that we went 4-0 and had a plus 57 different point differential, and what a year that was. We set all sorts of NFL records that year and then had it blown at the very end with a wide left kick in Atlanta. Can we beat that is the question.
Well, we won't besmirch upon bad news today. Today's all about good news, good vibes. My boy June, you're one guy short, June. Where's B Foster?
I hope he's somewhere safe and where it's raining without any shelter whatsoever. That's what I hope.
It's not what I see on Twitter.
Hey man, just don't spoil it for me, Dave. I can dream. The guy snuck off to Houston to watch the Tigers play. Didn't say anything. Didn't tell his boy anything. He's in Houston, living it up, watching a playoff baseball game, Tigers versus Astros, and the Tigers are up in the ninth inning, I might add. But still, he didn't say anything. He didn't tell his buddy that he was going. I have to hear through Twitter.
Well, speaking of sneaking away, they don't have palm trees in Chicago.
No, they do not, Dave. That's a good observation. And well, our background is pretty vibrant. You can see the heat waves in through the camera. This is a pretty good camera.
You definitely not on 63rd. That's not 63rd.
This is not O Block. Not O Block. I am in sunny Miami right now.
Oh man, you suck.
Yeah. You know, this is my favorite time of year. The Scorpio moon is upon us, June. This is like my extended summer. So I've been waiting all year for this. I'm in Miami right now. Next week I'll be somewhere else. Just so be prepared.
I hate to hear it.
I wish I was going to see the Cubs play playoff baseball, but alas, it's football season. Gentlemen, speaking of this football, we got a lot to talk about. So before we get into week 5 and the buys that are coming up this season, let's go ahead and get some recaps of week 4 since the last time we talked. Detroit, June, you're going to have to carry do all the heavy lifting this week since your boy B Foster is doing his corner to Copa. What happened Monday Night Football? You all had the last game of the week. You beat Seattle. What was the final score?
42-29.
42-29. Tell us how that happened.
Well, after the first possession, the Lions' offense was clicking. I mean, it was clicking on all cylinders. It was what I thought they should be. I didn't imagine they would score 42. And I don't expect them to score 42 everything, but I saw what I saw as far as what I needed to see as far as execution. Goff went 18 for 18, 2 touchdown passes, and a blistering, speedful touchdown reception. He looked like the second coming of Tyreek Hill out of the backfield, catching that pass there. And I also saw
throw by Amon-Ra St. Ra.
Yeah, yes, it was. And you know, the defender played as best as he could. Like he actually was, you know, in position. He just didn't turn around and get his head around to see, but I don't think he would have stopped it. The pass was perfect. Also saw some pass defense that I didn't like. and I'm just gonna keep it a buck. There's been a nickname to a corner that we have. They call him Flagion Arnold. Yeah, it's that's a label he's been getting, and he's a young, handsy corner. I always had suspicions of those corners that like to grab in college, that get away with it in college. You're not going to get away with it on this level. But I just saw some great offense and some a little bit of concern from some aspects of the defense, but nothing to worry about for real.
I liked when Arnold was called on one and he's pointing up. He's complaining and bitching to the refs that he didn't do it, and he's pointing to the big screen. And
I actually believed him. I actually believed him. And they showed the replay. You tackled him. What are you pointing at the camera talking about? Look, you want him to see that? Oh, it was horrible. It was horrible. And now what you're going to see is when you develop that reputation, they're going to watch him like a hawk now. So he's not going to be able to get away with anything. Yeah. And rightfully so. I'm not saying that, that's just what happened when you have a handsy corner. They're going to look for that.
Hey, it is what it is. And
it's just a lack of confidence. When you lack confidence in your technique, and you're scared of getting beat. You can't do that. You're hurting your team. Just play. Just play. Get your head turned around. You ain't got a hold.
But that offensive performance was outstanding.
Yeah. I want to take this time to thank you. Thank you for Montgomery. Like that was the ultimate pickup there. I thank the Chicago Bears organization for letting us acquire Mr. Montgomery. Demo is what we call him. Yes.
Well, great. You're not welcome.
Well, we gave you Swift. He had a great game.
We will talk a lot about Mr. Swift.
Okay.
In a minute. June, before we segue to the Minnesota Vikings part of the week 4 recap, I had a question for you. What is the biggest concern for your team right now as you've finished your pre-bye games?
Mm-hmm.
Is Sam Laporta's contribution to the offense, or the way they're using him in the offense right now, or is it your pass defense that you just talked about for a second?
Pass defense. I think in the beginning there was an explanation why Laporta wasn't productive in the beginning. They were limiting his looks because of the hamstring injury, and they wanted to make sure he was good. And I think with the rest of the offense opening up, he'll get his opportunities. Now in the pass defense, there's been 4 games, and I want to say it's been about 6 quarters out of that 4 games where the pass defense was just scary. For the most part, they've been good. It's just individual play. There's been certain individuals that just haven't had a full 4-quarter game, and they have a stretch where they're just bad out there. And I think it'll get cleaned up, or there'll be some changes. That's what I think. But Mr. Arnold's a rookie, and you if you're winning, you got to let him take his lumps. So
I agree. You got a lot of wiggle room to allow rookies to grow into where they're going to be eventually, right? If your record was flipped 1-3 after winning the division, you might be doing something a little different. But yeah, so yeah, I see it the same way you see it. Let's go, Dave. So the Vikings, as you said in our open, they moved to what was it? What's the record?
4-0.
4-0. 4-0. All right, tell us how they got to 4-0.
And the Kansas City Chiefs are undefeated.
About who you beat.
About who we beat? we started out with the New York Giants.
Speak slow.
And the New York Giants, everybody said, well, that's just the Giants. And we said, yeah, it is just the Giants. And then we played. Who did we play after that? We played, I'm skipping one. Oh, San Francisco, the 49ers, before everybody got hurt on the 49ers. And we beat the 49ers soundly.
It should have been points. It wasn't soundly.
Yeah, but we had
score was 24-17.
Yes, but if Aaron Jones hadn't dropped the ball on the one, it would have been a blowout. Then we had the Houston Texans with CJ Stroud, and we blew them out of the park.
That was a blowout.
That was a blowout. And then we had the Green Bay Packers. Now, mind you, this is teams that were in the final 8 last season. One that was the NFC representative in the Super Bowl. And we beat them soundly. Now, with the Packers, we started out 28-0 near the end of the first half. If it wasn't for a muffed punt by Jalen Naylor, because he's our backup punt returner, because Powell got injured on a hospital ball, it would have been bigger than that. It would probably have been 35-0 at half. But he muffed it. The Packers recovered at the 3, and they scored. Then we went into the third quarter. In the third quarter, everybody took a nap. Nobody moved the ball. Nobody scored. The game remained 28-7. Then it went into the fourth quarter. And we let the momentum change. And what's his face? Quarterback. Mr. I've got Aaron Rodgers on the mind, but Jordan Love suddenly wasn't limping around as much and making throws. We were playing a softer defense at that time. We lead the league, believe it or not, in yards giving up for pass. But don't let that stat fool you, because we are 4th in points given up, and we are top 10 in just about every other defensive stat. They went on to score 29 points while we scored 3 more. We pull out the win, 31-29, and we are 4-0. We are at least 1 game up on the Detroit Lions. We are 2 games up on the Chicago Bears. And we are effectively 3 games up on the Green Bay Packers. That's your Minnesota Vikings roundup for today. They're doing great. Our quarterback, Sam Darnold, is playing well. Our receivers are catching footballs. Our offensive line is doing exceedingly well, both in run blocking and pass blocking. And the majority of power rankings have us number 1 this week, which scares me. I don't like being number 1. I like being disrespected and not overly respected. But that is what the Minnesota Vikings, after just 4 weeks, has done.
Breathe it in, Dave. Breathe it in. Accept the bullseye on your back. That's what leaders do.
It's coming.
And you forgot something in that game. You forgot something in that game there, Dave.
What's that?
The Packers lost.
The Packers missed 2 field goals in the first quarter.
Hey, that's not my fault.
I'm just saying. I mean,
Hey,
if they hit one of them, they win the game. I'm just saying. If they hit one of them, they win the game. I'm just saying.
Right. But they didn't. And we went ahead 28-0. And that was it. There was no way Vikings fans got a little bit anxious there at the end because we thought, oh my God, here it goes again. We're going to blow this huge lead we had, and we're going to lose this game. At no point in the fourth quarter did the Packers have enough time to catch up. None. The win probability never dropped below, I think it was 84%. And that was the absolute lowest. It was 90s most of the way out. It was garbage time. Our defense was sitting back, allowing them to just eat clock. And it was a solid win. In their house, no less.
In Lambeau Field. Dave, thank you
it's
for doing the
renamed,
Lord's work.
It's renamed Sambo Field for Sam Darnold.
I love it. I love it. Anytime the Packers can take a big, fat, heaping L, it is a good day. It is a good day, Dave. Now you said you don't like that now the people, a lot of the talking heads are making you all favorites. You're not too keen on that idea. But how about this idea? Sam Darnold, MVP. How does that ring to you?
That's not going to happen
right now, Dave. Right now,
it's in the conversation nationwide. If he continues this, yes. And Kevin O'Connell right now, our head coach, is now per DraftKings, I believe it is, leads all coaches for Coaches of the Year consideration. But if Sam gets us that 12, 13, 14, 15 game winning game season, gets us deep into the playoffs, you betcha. But we've got an obstacle ahead of us. Everybody started out the beginning of the season was saying, the Vikings are lucky. Vegas has them at 6.5. They're going to be lucky if they get 6 or 7 wins. Yeah, that sounds about right. Some people had us at 5. Yeah, they got Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold stinks. Well, KOC made Kirk Cousins better. KOC made Josh Dobbs better. KOC got Nick Mullins to throw 400-plus yards a game better. KOC is making Sam Darnold look very, very, very good. And he's going to be playing for his next contract. And whichever team that may be for, I'm picking Los Angeles Rams. But we'll find out.
I'm thinking probably Vegas.
Could be. That's another one I've heard.
They desperately need a quarterback. He's going to get paid. I know he's going to get paid somewhere if they don't keep him there. You never know what happened with JJ and his injury. So he's definitely a good problem to have right now.
Sports Life and Hip Hop says first quarter MVP is Sam Darnold. I fully expect him to get the NFC Offensive Player of the Month award.
And the Tigers have eliminated the Astros. Thanks, Tim.
Shout out B. Foster. We cannot
How the hell with B. Foster, bro?
We cannot wait to see that live coming from Bleachers to Speakers today for that right there.
Well, we get banned if I throw up a middle finger if he shows up. Like, I want to know, just precursor.
Well, you just do it, this way. Read it between the lines.
At the
middle one, Paul.
At the very least, June, you can appreciate the content.
Foster can still go. Never mind.
I feel you. I feel you right now, man. You know what? All right, so let's move to the other team in the division. We already heard about the Lions winning, the Vikings winning, the Packers losing. Now let's get some other good news. The Bears. Another game, another time the defense did not give up over 21 points. They haven't done it all season. The defense is smoking. We are churning out. And this every week, it's a new guy on the defense leading the charge. This week, Jaquan Brisker, he had himself a game. He would have had two interceptions on Matt Stafford, but he was out of bounds. He didn't reestablish on one of them. But whatever, he had the game sealing interception. That's all that matters. He had a lot of big hits. Anytime the play migrated to his side of the field, dead end. They only tried Jalen Johnson one time. They threw the ball in his direction once, and that was it. Matt Stafford knows better. He had him, even though he threw for, I think it was 230, 240 yards, something like that. He helped out my parlay, but it wasn't the easiest. He did not have an easy day. The Bears sacked him 3 times. He had a lot of near picks. He like I said, he threw should have been 2 interceptions. He got sacked, fumbled by Marquez Sweat. He got he hit the ground a lot of good pressures. Not a good day for him. The Rams are bereft of talent right now, and it's like you can see it in his face. Dave, this team is on the schedule, right? So listen up. It's not easy sledding right now for the Rams and the Bears to take advantage, which is what we needed them to do. They had as much of a must win as this can be in September. This was it. The Bears showed up and they did what they had to do. Caleb Williams his stat line, didn't blow anybody off the field. 1 touchdown, 157 yards passing, but he had a career high in QBR, 106.6. That is amazing. We like to see that. The continued growth in the number 1 draft pick. Every game he's getting better. This time he didn't turn the ball over at all. He took a couple of sacks in the first half. Not necessarily his problem because the left tackle and the center was getting their butt kicked again. It felt like Jared Verse was in the backfield every other play in the first half. But we figured it out, and we got some things cleaned up in the second half. Caleb Williams, back to him again. He was 8 of 9 against the blitz. 8 of 9 against the blitz, and his touchdown pass came against the blitz. I can't tell you any more better than that. You can see the maturation in real time. I am loving what I'm saying. Hopefully, this will start to matriculate into putting him into a reasonable conversation for Offensive Rookie of the Year with Jaden Daniels, who seems to be like he's running away with that award.
He is.
I mean, he's lighting up the world right now.
He's been fantastic.
Yeah, take nothing away from him. Other places on the offense. DeAndre Swift, you mentioned him earlier, Joan.
Oh yeah,
he finally, the $8 million acquisition. DeAndre Swift introduced himself to the Chicago Bears fans. Thank you. 3 games late, but we appreciate it nonetheless. He had 94 yards rushing, another 70 receiving. The big seal, the big touchdown run to put the game out of hand. I guess you could call it the game-winning rushing touchdown.
A 36-yarder. Yep.
It was a big play. He was smoking because coming into this game, there was a lot of talk about, man, this guy runs soft. He doesn't see lanes. He doesn't run hard in between tackles. He's always trying to bounce it outside when the lane is clearly there. He has terrible vision. Like, for $8 million, that's not what you signed up for. We have a lot of issues going on with the backfield, and I'm liking to see that for one game at least, we don't have to talk about that. Now, we can just focus on why is the offensive line consistently losing one-on-one. But all is right, and all is right at Hallis Hall right now. Club Dub is open. We are back to 500, 2-2. It's better than being under 500. So we're going to take that and hopefully build on that and get to over 500 with our next opponent. We'll talk about that next on the other side of the break. And we are back. Fans First Sports Network, NFC North Roundup, where we talk all NFC North. We do not talk Patriots. Sorry, Jones J. If your team played and lost to one of our teams, we would definitely circle the wagons on that one. But unfortunately, that is not this week. The Patriots play the Miami Dolphins this week, right? Ooh.
Yeah, it's the dog of the week game. Nobody wants to watch it.
Bet the under on that. So week five is almost, well, week 5 is here, right? Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
We got the first day of game install.
Mm-hmm.
First day of game install is today for most teams. So let's talk about it. Dave, you can start it off this time. You guys are playing the Rams, right? So
no, we're playing the New York Jets in London.
Right. You have the New York Jets, right? Can the Vikings go from beating the Packers and then turn around 7 days later and then put their foot on the throat of Aaron Rodgers?
Oh,
can the defense, after giving up 95 yards to Josh Jacobs, can you slow down Breece Hall? Let's talk about this game, Dave. What can we expect?
Well, first off, what most people don't know is the last team that Kevin O'Connell belonged to before he was released and kicked out of the league and became a coach afterwards was the New York Jets. He's got a little heartburn with this team. So it's going to be a little personal.
Oh, it's got to be.
But the team is getting ready to fly over. They'll fly over tomorrow, Thursday, tomorrow night, and they'll land Friday morning, and they'll get ready for the game. It is at 8:30 Central in the morning. It's the morning game. It's NFL Network. So you're going to need that to watch it. But it is going to be, the Vikings are the home team in this case, and we host Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is going to be fun to watch because every time he gets frustrated, be it by the opposing defense or by his own offensive players or head coach, he tends to get a little fussy and yell at people and takes it out publicly, which makes it interesting because he is a weird individual. Aaron Rodgers is a great NFL quarterback. He will be going into the Hall of Fame. But the goal of the game, the one I'm calling for on my next show, is that we get him flustered and we get him spun up and yelling and complaining about everything, that nothing absolutely works. His linemen are jumping off sides because they don't know the cadence, or that he's throwing to receivers running wrong routes, or receivers that can't catch the ball, all to get him upset as the Vikings continue to go undefeated in London one more time, or overseas, I should say. I think we're 8 or 9-0 overseas, and a grand total of 3-0 in London alone. And it's going to be a fun matchup for the folks and the fans over in Europe to come watch us at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium defeat the New York Jets.
49-3 Vikings.
The over and under is 40.5. The Vikings are only favored by 2.5 points, which I think is a joke.
It's not going to be.
It's still people still fading the Vikings. That's what that is. The Vikings are clearly a better team than the Jets. If you watched that last week from if you watched that last week, with the Broncos and Jets, the worst game I've seen in at least a decade. Disgusting. You can say weather's involved in it, whatever. I think is a washed quarterback and a terrible rookie quarterback involved in it. One of our viewers, Oscar Smith, shout out to him. He's always supporting. He's a Jets fan. So I thank you for giving that rendition of everything that's bound to happen this week. Aaron Rodgers will throw a hissy fit. Aaron Rodgers will blame everybody else instead of his own shortcomings. I agree. But Breece Hall is a dog. I wish Garrett Wilson would do a little bit more. I do have him on one of my fantasy teams. I didn't want to draft him because I don't believe in their quarterback. But where I was at, he's the best player, so I got kind of stuck with it. But I do think the Vikings finish up 5-0.
Yeah.
All signs point in that direction. I'm a believer now. I was doing the same thing that you were saying, Dave. Like, soft schedule. They're catching people by surprise. Yada yada yada. It's just September. I was saying some of that.
Hey, the defense is good. The offense is good. Coaching is good. It's coming together, and the team loves themselves. It's got a one of those once every generation attitudes in the locker room. There's something special going on right now in Minnesota, and it's going to continue on Sunday. And the Jets they have the opposite of that. And I expect a blowout.
Yeah. The Jets, I don't know what they are right now. They're definitely overrated. I would tell you that much.
They got a good defense. I'll give them that. They've got it. Well, on paper they do, and they did last year.
I kind of think not only their offense is overrated, but their defense is overrated. But this is an AFC East show. I just explained it to Jones J. We don't talk Patriots, Jets.
Well,
Dolphins.
You talked about the Jets and the Broncos being just the worst game you could ever watch last week. It's this week, the Patriots.
I'm trying to forget it.
Dolphins.
Yeah,
that's going to rival it.
Will not. I would not engage. Yes. Oof. Terrible. Let's get some good football talk going on. June.
That's right.
June,
who are you playing this week?
Well, we're playing PlayStation. We're pretty much having a bye week. It sucks. Yeah, it's just a bye. It's a bye week for us, an early bye week.
That's what allows Foster to go down to Houston and catch a baseball game.
See, I was trying to get away from that notion. I was trying to calm it down. But yes, it allows him to go to Houston without telling his friend that he's going to my favorite city. Yes.
Turkey Leg Hut got shut down, so you're not missing much.
There was so much more than Turkey Leg Hut, though.
Well, everything on Alameda Road is amazing. That is my favorite strip, probably in America.
Yeah.
Wow.
What are you looking to see this weekend, Joan? With your team on a bye, resting up, what are you looking to see from maybe not just what's happening in the division, but maybe NFL wide?
The biggest thing is like when you're covering a specific team, and you tend to just watch that specific team and their opponent. So I'll get a chance to watch a little bit of everybody and pay attention to everybody. I do pay attention to the NFC North, of course. I'll pay attention to Green Bay. I pay attention to Vikings, Bears. I watch every single one of those games, but I don't get a chance to watch teams outside of our division. So without the Lions being on, I'm going to lock in and watch some football from everyone else. As far as the Lions concerned, we've had some injuries, some little knickknacks here and there, and they'll get a chance to heal up as best as they can within a week. Get a little time for Flaggy on to watch a little tape, and hopefully he'll learn not to point at the camera when he does something wrong. Yeah, he's not convincing anybody. He's making himself look crazier. But other than that, I'm just going to just relax and watch football and enjoy everybody else play. I hate bye weeks, and I hate them. I really hate them early.
I mean, they're not the worst thing in the world, right? You do get a chance to just check out the landscape, check out some other stuff going on. Hopefully they come around at the right time. If you got some lingering issues, Sam Laporta, I hope we can brush this slow start off to a lingering injury that you can rest up and heal from and come back and give us a 160-yard game next week. I mean, the following week. Us that got a lot that went all in on you on fantasy would love to appreciate that. Shout out to Oscar. So the other game in the division, non-Packers, is the Bears. We have drum roll. We got the Carolina Panthers this week. Oh,
Should be another win for the division.
I am not going to hold you guys. The Bears are going to 3-2, as I predicted, and at the schedule drop. The Bears and the Panthers should not be a close game, right? I'm measuring who the Bears are going to be from this game. I don't care who's quarterbacking for the Panthers. The Panthers are not a good squad. Their number one receiver, Deontay Johnson, I don't think he's a good receiver. The number one running back, Chuba Hubbard, I don't think he's a good running back. Nobody on the offensive line is a Pro Bowler. Nobody on the in the defense is of note. The quarterback, Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle, you think he's going to have a revenge game against us? You got another thing coming, buddy. You got another thing coming. you should have got it last week against the Cincinnati Bengals. You're not getting it this week. The Bears need to win this game by at least 10. If this is another struggle game, because I did say earlier the Bears have not given up 21 points at all. And not giving up over 21 points at all this season, which means we've been in games all this season, but they've come down to the wire. They've been close. The Bears need to blow this team out. The Bears need to win this game by more than 2 scores. The Carolina Panthers do not belong on the same field as the Bears. If the Bears are who I think they are, shout out to Dennis Green. If the Bears are who I think they are, the Bears will win this game by at least 10 and put the Carolina Panthers back on the road to another top 3 pick. Maybe after this game, the Carolina Panthers should be thinking like, well, maybe Bryce Young wasn't so bad.
We played them in preseason. Who the hell takes a third game in the preseason like it's bull? We played them in the third game. Everybody played 3 quarters. The Bears are who we thought they were. And that's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them.
Slow down, Pay. Now, slow down.
Rest in peace, Dennis Green.
I want you to walk this thing down now. We're talking about point difference. Just win, okay? Do not judge your team by not blowing them out and winning more. Win the game, okay? That's all I'm saying.
It's always the first priority. Win the game.
That's not going to show up in the box score. It's not going to show up. You want a W there. It's not going to say 1 by 20.
I disagree, Joe. It is the box score. You cannot lose to college teams. You cannot play a college team close. You have to beat them convincingly.
You ever heard of the term any given Sunday?
We've seen any given Sundays more times this season than any other season. June, any given Sunday, it should be the handle for the 2024 season of the NFL. Nobody's safe. However,
nobody's safe.
However, the Bears cannot pull the Raiders were the sacrificial lamb for the season. All right. The Raiders gave the Panthers their only win. The Panthers cannot be close to the Bears.
I'm just telling you, don't take it for just win the game, man.
I hear you. We should just win the game.
Don't put a lot of stock in how much you win by. Just win.
Win the game.
I feel you. I want to win above all else, right? But there's style points matters. All right. I just gonna put it like that. Style points matters because if we can't build on what we've been doing and then have this seemingly easy opponent to showcase, then yes, there is some discussion to be had. Like, what is the issue? Is there some structural problem that we need to change ASAP? That's all I'm saying.
It's early, man.
It is early.
It's early in the season. Now, if you lose the Panthers in week 12, then there's a problem. Or if you don't blow them out in week 12, there's a problem.
If you lose to the Panthers in any week,
I didn't mean to say lose. If you don't win by a desired amount Sunday in week 5, or I wouldn't trip. If it was week 12, week 13, then it's like, okay, what are we doing?
I feel you.
It's early, man. It's still early. You got to give Caleb time as well.
Yeah, it's only we're only done with not quite the quarter of the season, but the quarter of the season.
Yeah. Just, it'll be okay.
Okay.
You're sitting 2-2. You have just like the majority of the NFL.
Yes, absolutely.
You are astoundingly correct, Dave, as always, our venerable veteran of the Vikings. You are correct. You are right. You're preaching patience. I get it. However, how many games up on the division?
1 over Detroit, 2 over the Bears, and 3 over the Packers.
Right.
So you okay, but look, at worst case scenario, the lowest team is 3, behind 3, but there's 12 more games left.
Right.
It's going to be okay.
And in 2016, the Vikings started out 5-0, 6-0.
But remember last year, right? At the end of the season, there was still a mathematical chance for the Bears to make the playoffs or whatever. There was still a mathematical chance for the Vikings to win the division. The Green Bay could have won the division. Hey, it's early. And
we got a tough division. Of the season,
Vikings had a slow start. The Bears had a slow start, and you still at the end of the season had a chance. So, hey, I wouldn't put a lot of stock in right now.
It was shocking that the Lions held out and won the division.
Hey, I'm just as shocked as anybody. I've been here I've been cheering for the Lions a long time, and I was waiting for anything to happen.
But boy, did you guys look good on Monday night.
I mean, it looked good. And there was some stuff that I think that they need to work on. But like I say, I'm going to be patient. It's early. I was very patient with the offense in the first few games because I personally feel, and I've been saying that even on my own show, that I think the Lions offense is a rhythmic offense. And I think without playing any of the starters in either of the preseason games, they didn't play any preseason game whatsoever. It was going to take a few games for that Lions offense to get the clicking. And we saw what I thought was a very explosive offense Monday night, and I hope it continues.
Well, we have the Jets this week, and then we have our bye, and then we have you guys, and that's already being talked about in Vikings land. Everybody's gearing up for the Lions game. Mm-hmm. Looking forward to it.
Oh yeah.
I think our bye is on week 7, if I'm not mistaken. I got a comment here that I wanted to highlight. Big G from the Steel Curtain Network and the Level Up podcast on the FFSN YouTube channel. That's he's got something to say. He says Chuba Hubbard has 225 plus rushing yards after the quarterback change and 200 plus yards and 2 TDs. Oh, yeah. He's basically saying that if the Bears don't score 27 points, they're in trouble against the Carolina Panthers. Let me be emphatic with this. Hold on, let me sit up. let me be real clear. I don't care what's going on in Carolina. Nothing that they have presently on their roster is going to give the Bears any capital A-N-Y problem come Sunday. The Carolina Panthers are at best, Big 12 team. They are not an NFL product. The Bears are going to get them off the field early. I promise you this. That is a payday prediction that will come. In fact, let's not call it prediction. Let's bring that back. That is a payday premonition. We are going to destroy the Panthers. 3-2 on the way. Write that down, G.
Sounds good. That's what I would predict.
All right. So
we got one more game on week 5 in the division.
We do. We have the Packers, and they are playing the LA Rams, right?
At the Rams, yes, correct.
They're the ones playing the Rams. So my team just played the Rams. Dave, your team just played the Packers. Who's going to win this?
I suspect the Packers will. The Packers are favored 3.5 points. It's an over-under of 47.5. But boy, do I hope the Rams are butthurt from their defeat from you guys and they take it out on the green and gold. Something terrible come Sunday afternoon. And we've got the Detroit, who's taking the bye this week. June can start his whole day with the NFC North. 8:30, the Vikings take on the Jets. Noon, the Bears take on the Panthers. And at 3:25, the Packers at the Rams. Hopefully it'll be win-win-loss for the division by that time. You writing it down, June? Make sure you got it.
So the Rams, they're like I said, they're really screwed up on their they've got a lot of injuries right now, right? So
they're hurt a lot.
Yeah,
yes.
They're hurt a lot. Their offense is struggling. I do expect that the Packers, at least, that they're Jordan Love, he's going to figure some things out. Maybe he was just rusty. That's what I expect to see come Sunday. I expect that he that his game against the Vikings, where he threw 3 interceptions, that's not going to be the same case come Sunday when he plays the Rams. So I do expect a bounce back from that defense. I mean, at the very least. Now, Christian Watson being hurt, that's an issue, right? The Rams defense has been struggling all season. So I don't necessarily see I don't see a path for the Rams to figure it out and necessarily bounce back and win this game. It's going to be tough. I don't think the Packers are a terrible team, right? I think the Packers have had. I mean, the Packers, they're 2-2 right now. They lost to the Eagles in a close game in which Jordan Love got hurt. First game of the year, whatever. You can throw that out. They lost last week to you all, best team in the division. Quarterback coming back. Jordan Love's 0-2. I think this is the week Jordan Love gets his first win. If they're going to run him back out there again, which I was surprised he played last week, this would be that time. I think the Rams are just a little too hurt. A little too throwing stuff up against things against the board to see what sticks. I don't see any roadmap, any clear roadmap, at least today, how the Rams can win this game. So I expect when we do this show next week, when June is hosting on the Bleachers To Speakers YouTube channel, that we're talking about a 3-2. We're talking about 2 3-2 teams, a 3-1 team, and a 5-0 squad.
Mm-hmm.
More about the Bleachers To Speakers. June, tell them about it.
You can catch us on Bleachers To Speakers on YouTube. On that channel, we do the Bleachers To Speakers show, which covers the Lions. We have a post-game podcast, which covers the Detroit Pistons. And we have Corner to Copa, which covers the Tigers. And we my co-host Foster is right now in Houston covering the game, and I freaking hate him for that. But and you can also catch us for your audio fix on any podcast aggregator. Just those are platforms like Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Podcasts. Just type in Bleachers To Speakers FFSN in your search. Make sure you're following. Make sure you have the notification bell on, so when we drop content, you'll be able to catch it. And please download those episodes.
Always. Hey, Black, if you love this show on Wednesday, next week, as June said, it will be on Bleachers To Speakers. Catch that out on YouTube. The link is in the info of this show. Easy follow. I didn't give you no homework to do. Dave, 2 weeks from now, the show will be on your channel. What's the name of that channel?
Vikings First and SKOL.
Great channel.
Yes, and we'll be during our bye week. We'll be hosting, but we are live on YouTube at Vikings First and SKOL. You can find us on your favorite podcast aggregator at Vikings First and SKOL. You can find us our written work at Fans First Sports Network at Vikings First and SKOL. You can also find us on Facebook if you partake of Facebook, or of course on X at Vikings First SKOL is our Twitter handle. And we are there across the board talking your Minnesota Vikings and the NFC North as well. And we love it. I've seen some fans of mine that have joined us, Sarah being the latest one. Hello, Sarah. It is a great day to be an NFC North fan, unless you're whining about your game last week in Green Bay. That's just the way. But the rest of us are quite happy.
You're muted.
Sorry, I said I'm pleased. As you said, Dave, Bears won. Vikings won. No animus there. No animus towards the Lions. They won. Sox are perpetual losers, the greatest losers of all time. I couldn't be in a better place. You all know, as the scroll at the bottom of the show says, the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel, where you're checking this show out, or unless you're watching on June's platforms or on Twitch, FFSN, YouTube, or Twitter, or Facebook. Check us out at the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel. We got a lot of stuff, a lot of fine stuff going on there as well. That's a show, guys. That's a show. As I said, next week, I'm expecting to do this show from a 5-0 Vikings perspective, from a 3-2 Bears perspective, a 3-2 Packers perspective, and of course a 3-1 Lions perspective. June, what do you say as we signal out of the show?
Oh wow! I had to do it. I'm sorry, I had the volume down. I had to.
Yeah, that's not very convincing right there.
It's a bye week coming, so you know, the Lions are sleeping.
Okay, I mean that's a good excuse. Good excuse. I like that. Dave, what about you, man? What do you say?
We always say, "SKOL Vikings."
All right, man. And you guys already know, if you follow the show, it's always
The Bears.
Oh boy.
See you next. Thanks for checking out this latest edition from the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel. Whether you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or watching on Twitch or YouTube, do the same. Like, subscribe, share with a friend, hit the notification bell so you never miss a drop. And to all my homies in Chicago, we say 3 things: bear down, Go Cubs, go, and sell the team, Jerry.